Alright, I'm back. Hello. How you guys doing? It's been a crazy ride, but I'm back at it. Next day. Accomplished. I didn't really think about it today. I know, I'm sorry, it's a little windy right now. I should have gotten the laptop, but yeah, I just felt like doing it to confirm it. You know, before I start getting lazy. But I feel like at the moment there's not much I can do, but there's also not much I can talk about too, so it's kind of weird. Hold on. Well, uh, there's not much I can say right now or do. I mean, it's almost like I'm on the court, like I'm playing ball. It's happening, but the whole point is to put more time into the word, into the message, because I see the word as a message. God's word, it's a message. I feel like it's always been. We don't see it as the word and the word only. The word. I'm not saying like the letters that spell out word. I'm not saying that. We shouldn't just be that's it. That's what we got to think about. It's got to be the meaning behind the word. It's the message. And to me, I use message because it's like, what do you get when you hear a kid's folktale? There's usually a message behind it. Sometimes it's just to get the kid to go to sleep, but there's always a message behind things because people are putting other meanings behind the things they make. And I feel like that, just in general, is just what God did for us. He put a message behind us, the meaning behind life. And that's all God wants you to do, is always look for the meaning. Don't give up and just be like, there's no meaning. And I try to come out here and talk to myself, because it's almost as if I'm always in my mind, it's almost like that'll never happen. Like, you had it happen in your mind before you even fucking did it. So I'm just in my room, losing my brain through these like imaginary conversations I have with, the universe. And in the end, I never do anything that I'm thinking about. I'm just sitting there thinking. Like stagnant. I'm in stasis, just fucking wasting time. But maybe if I keep pushing through and keep doing these videos, I will learn to always have something to say, and things won't be short, cut short. Sometimes I do an hour. It just hits me for an hour. Sorry, hold on. Yeah, like the topics of conversation just hit me like that. Like they start coming at me. And right now, I just thought of a reason. I don't know why I do it, but when I'm biting my lip and I'm like conscious of the conversation. I don't know how else to explain that, but like I'm interactive with the conversation I'm having with myself, meaning like, oh, I'm attentive. Like I have attention to what I'm saying, like I'm able to skip the parts by pausing it, and that might have silence in them, like me, biting my lip, because talking to myself is a little nerve-wracking. But like wind or something. But there's just moments where I'm just sitting there fucking thinking so much that I don't even want to move. Because if I move, it's like I'm breaking my train of thought. That's how much I'm in my fucking head. So I tend to not pause those moments, even though I should. Because I'm going back and I'm looking at these videos. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you're just sitting there. But I know what's going on through my head at the moment. Sometimes I don't know, but I can feel. I'm the only one who can empathize with what I'm thinking right there in that moment, besides a mind reader or, I don't know, someone who can feel what I'm feeling somehow. But cutting it out, these are really long videos, and I have to upload it to my computer, and then I have to edit it, and I have to wait for it to register all those edits, and then I have to upload it to YouTube. Instead, with this is like literally my optimal move of keeping my content going for videos like this, and I'm talking about like the videos I do with just talking, because if I'm doing all the editing and then I make it a routine where I have to cut those edits, I'm gonna get lazy, and I'm not gonna want to do one. That's gonna break my streak. Now, this is a hard thing, like I see creators like Corey X Kenshin, and yeah, it's a really hard thing, especially to edit things, like edit every day, make a video every day, because I see he makes challenges like that for himself. But nobody's Superman. One thing is for sure, nobody's like, and nobody's holding a gun to your head to make you Superman. You're not letting anybody down. You're only giving to people. For example, like this topic came up in the day with, oh man, what was it? It was almost like somebody was like, just like that. Oh, I was watching a Sopranos episode, and what was it? She's a psychologist, a therapist, Dr. Melfi. She gets like anxious and almost like on the brink of crying because she feels that she had to leave her patient, which was Tony Soprano, the mafia boss. She had to leave him because something that happened with him. Like they thought that people might try to kill her or something. So they had to separate that therapist-patient thing for a moment. They had to be separate. And she started crying, or I think, yeah, she was. Oh, hold on, fucking wind. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Oh, coming back. This goofy ass air. I'm gonna bring my laptop. Freak. All right, well, fuck it. God just said, you know what, like, it's up to you to edit this, I guess. He wanted me to edit it. Fuck it. I guess once I got the interest in it, I was like, oh, why not? Because the laptop kind of blocks the wind a little bit. Anyways, I ended the last video, or the first half of this video by accident with my finger. I was talking about how Dr. Melfi was just, she was crying because she left her patient, Tony Soprano, only because she felt bad that he acts like a child. You know, he has this inner child that's you know, she can see, and that if somebody dies or he dies, you know, it's going to be her responsibility. And she's feeling bad that he is her responsibility, when in no case should that ever feel like that, even especially professionally, because especially if you're there just to get a paycheck, like, dang, like, this is just a job. Especially, I mean, yeah, you should also look at people like humanly, but like, yeah, it's really a great thing. But for something like that specific, I guess, she's a therapist, all you can kind of do is try to help. But for some people, it's definitely personal. Most issues are personal, meaning they're going to be in a room, like a room by themselves. They're going to be in a situation by themselves, like me, myself, and I. Those people, that one person, they're going to be alone. So it's them that have to confront these situations. It's not the therapist. Most problems, they themselves have to confront. Like that. Like, a therapist can help, you know, it can try to help, but in the end, it's not up to them to you know, get that problem out of you. They can tell you everything you need to know in order to face your problems, but it's up to you if you want to face your problems. And I just, you know, for situations like Corey, you know, he really wanted to, you know, provide that content. He wanted to be there for his fans and show that he wants to, you know, stay interacted with his audience and show them like, hey, I'm still here. But it didn't require you to go and make like one video every day. This is tough even without editing, you know, especially putting in self-made problems or lies, and the state of the world and how people interact with you each day. That's a issue in it of itself. Yeah, I'm glad I got the laptop. The wind really picked up. Okay, hopefully you guys aren't catching any of that. But yeah, there's a reason why we do have to create, because what I saw in this video, this guy really helped me with that reason alone. Is like, creating allows you to just get that, you know, steam out of you, get that, you know, whatever's inside your brain just out of you, so it's not bottled up. Even if it's you know, not talking, it's just, you know, bawling or, you know, playing hockey or skydiving, you know, crocheting, sometimes singing and rapping and all that included. But there's a lot of people who, you know, can't do stuff like that. And I think it's good for people to focus on the options and have a more broader horizon, so that we can show people that there's other things we can do, you know, other than just the basic things. Because when I got to a point of my most depressive state, breathing was a hard thing for me to do. And it's like the first thing we learned to do here, and breathing just to me started to feel like did I forget how to do this shit? Yeah, it's so crazy how we could just be on our minds so long, almost like being in your own world that you made. Pretty cool though. Well, that's one thing people should really focus on, and is there's a thing about responsibility, but there's also a thing about self-responsibility. And I guess you could say expected, but at the same time it should be required. I think that is what's the word, that's granted, or that should be granted, is parenting responsibility. Like, it should be like a thing written in stone, something, a law that you shouldn't break. Is once you have a kid, you have to claim them as your responsibility. But that's not how people work. Not here. They just don't. They leave their kid for whatever reason. I'm not out here trying to be like it's always an evil reason, because I've seen reasons where somebody's gonna kill you and you don't want your family to be killed. All right, I get you. You don't want to bring that kind of heat to your family, but there's always like that feeling in your soul, your being, everything, inside you, where it's just like, that they're part of you. Even if you run away from them, that they're still like connected to you. I don't know how parents and children work, but that's like a responsibility. But when it's a person you don't even know, like a stranger, and you gotten to know them to a point where they can be like a friend, don't claim them as your responsibility. Like, you can help them, especially like it's a nice thing to do, is to help them when it comes to, let's say, I don't know, hey, they can bring you up, hey, my car its tire just popped, can you help me come and put this, tire back on or something, or give me a ride. Usually the cases. You can always help. But in a situation in your life where you have your situation in your life, you have problems of your own pretty much, it's not like you guys can't be friends anymore. There's no law or something happening right then and there that just like, oh, it breaks. You can't be friends because you didn't help them change the tire once. It's just you had so many issues going on in your life, you couldn't be there at the time. And to me, that sounds like budgeting, because my mom kind of just put that into perspective. And I always used to not budget, because I was like, I'm not going to spend money until I have the money. And I didn't realize that everyone is budgeting. I don't know if that's what it means, but pretty much you have the money and you save it and you keep it for that. Even if like a situation comes up where like, hey, like, can I borrow like $20? You technically don't have the money to give it to them, because that money was reserved for whatever you were going to buy. Like, I don't know, a game or a gaming console that costs $200. You already set it in your mind, that's what I'm going to buy. This $200 I'm going to make is set for that freaking console. But right now you're just at $20 and you're saving up. But somebody comes up and says like, yo, I need $20 for gas. Can you hook a player up? To me, I thought it was the most evil shit to just not do it. I thought it was evil. I was like, why am I saving money when I can help this dude and give him $20 for gas, But the whole point was the the console. You're not gonna get money for that console if you keep giving people $20 for gas. As much as, yeah, that's what I mean, is like, as much as we want to help people, we have to learn to help ourselves help people. And that includes making the smart move, the smart decision. Not just the right or nice decision, because then we end up like me, like broke. And then you can't help anybody. So then now I'm in a worse situation where I can't really help people, or I don't even have the know-how to help people when I don't have money. I don't have someone here to tell me how to do it, or someone who has done it before. I can go out and try to help people, but there's only so much I could do. Is offer my services for free. At that point, maybe I could die a hero, but we're trying to be out here, with the law of the land and help as many people as we can. But I'm not saying budgeting for a console is the best move, but budgeting for like a car, now that's a good budget, Put it in the budget. Save up for that. People, now there's situations where you need to, like, I just broke my leg or something, gotta go to the hospital, Even then, it's like, hospitals are really scary with the bills. Or, you have to, release somebody from jail, or something like, your car got impounded. You got to take it out. Stuff like that always happens, But I for the longest didn't know I could apply that to like other things. I can apply it to just how my life worked. It was almost like I had no money representing. I had all these issues. My plate was already full. It's kind of hard to explain, but my plate was already full, and I still wanted to help people. I was already, like, little did I know that this porn issue should have been my main issue. This is how much time I should have put into it, is getting the laptop, getting the phone. And it wasn't even that much, but this is what I should have been doing, is putting it into light, revealing it to, people, but to myself, like showing myself, so I can go back and look at how much this is taken from me. And I didn't even realize. To me, I thought the next day was granted. Tomorrow was just going to come, always. It takes more than a heart pain to make someone realize that. And I didn't know that. Because at the time, I got a heart issue thing going on. And then my gallbladder started fucking up. I had gallstones. And then it was like, those happened, and I was still watching porn. Like it was, I was still King Tut or whatever. Like, and I get everything. I'm God of the world or something. And so it was almost as if maybe it was that last straw. It was just like, maybe I needed to dive so deep into it to a point where it wasn't a feeling of pain that was going to get me out of and realize how precious life is. It was an inner pain, I guess. So an inner pain, because those two pains are inner. Yeah, my heart and my gallbladder. But I mean, a mental pain. I don't know how to explain it. But it made my thyroid, it made my neck just so sensitive. It made me so, like I don't know how to explain this fucking catharsis. This feeling, this fucking, it just felt like how somebody feels when they see blood. Those people who are sensitive to seeing blood. To me, it was almost as if my mind was torturing me with fucking images like that. Just that feeling alone, like, it was crawling in my brain. It was all over my brain for a while, actually. And I can't say like more than somebody or more than your usual person, because I don't know if people have this, if this is a common thing, but it made me feel gross, like icky, like intolerable. Like it was like seeing someone like break their bone, like like you see their bone just sticking out or something. That was like the feeling I felt all the time when I was trying to just get some fucking sleep. That feeling would just pop up to my mind, and then like I'm losing my fucking brain. And so I think the feeling of that was ramped up so much. It was at its like peak. It was at a highest level that I just came out here. Oh no, not came out here. I was inside and I did that video. But the reason I came out here is because, you know, it felt more freeing to be out and about, you know, in the outside world at the least, instead of being trapped in my room. But I did the video in my room. But, you know, I needed to like put it into perspective. I need to see this shit from my eyes, like for myself. And it was bad. It wasn't good. Like first video and I'm already crying. I'm just like, I can't fucking handle this shit. I'm such a terrible person. I wasted time. I wasted my life. There's so many bad things with porn, and I try to come up with reasons, or my brain's coming up with reasons why maybe porn can be a thing for someone to get out of, or something like bills, like OnlyFans. But no, like I can't sit here trying to help the enemy. Like, no. Some people work for their money, and some people are trying to find that easy route out. You can't. I get it. You have kids. Some people have kids, but we just can't. Like, my mom had 4 kids, and I get it. You know, maybe in a way she did, but she divorced 2 dudes, and she kind of did it on her own. She went searching for a job. She did it on her own. And that spirit of her just wanting to help us, of just being responsible as a parent, it just literally, we saw that and we needed to be copycats. We're just like, this is what we do. We just got to work. We got to help each other. And so we went and we got ourselves jobs. Yeah. It's not like my mom really depended on those 2 guys. It was just like she just stuck in there. She was still there, even in the worst of times. And I don't have the fucking map or the blueprint, nor do I have should I have the inclination to be talking shit like that. But fucking porn, it's putting someone in hell. And not just someone, a lot of people. It's destroying the potential of somebody. It's destroying the potential to help us in situations like the ones we're in. And people can put their time in way more valuable things, but porn just takes it first, takes your attention first. It's like, no, I'm first in line, always. And I wish people can understand how fucking serious that is. That means porn goes before what? Your family. Porn goes before your children. Porn starts to go before your work sometimes. Porn comes and destroys everything. Your relationship with your friends, your games. It starts to fucking like, no, you know, I want you all to myself. That's what porn wants. I want you completely. I want your attention so that it's tunnel vision and all you can see is me. I'm not saying that the women on or the men on porn are doing that, but it's the representation of it. That's like the example, the analogy of it, of what it's doing to your eyes, your brain. It's taking where your eyes literally should be. Your eyes should be watching your kids. And this doesn't just mean porn. This can mean sex. And it's directing it away from your children to porn. And I think that's why some of the most wisest dudes say that's the guy, or porn is the guy. Porn is the thing you have to focus on. And yeah, you know, actually, I will put that too. You know, the wisest dudes would say, look in the mirror, and that's the guy you got to work on. You're not out here, you shouldn't be out here trying to fix somebody else's life when you haven't fixed your own. And that's what Jesus meant by, hey, take that, you know, take that log out your eye instead of trying to take out that splinter in somebody else's. You're trying to focus on somebody else, and their problems are all like almost dealt with, and yours is just like, hey, what about you? You still got a mountain right behind you. Yeah, don't worry about me, you know, like. And then we sound so stupid, hypocritical, and beyond saving. It sounds beyond saving, but we put ourselves with the mountain load of work of helping ourselves, meaning the self, trying to help the self. You know, we're putting me, we're putting the me like it doesn't even matter. We're making ourselves not matter. We're making the self, the challenge to help ourselves a lot harder. We're just stacking way more by not trying to fix ourselves. Because we think of ourselves as already fixed or the best. You know, we don't need anything. We're prideful, and that's it. You know, my life is fixed. Now it's time to go and fix other people's. No. The whole act of life. That's why it's almost like we're gonna help others by helping ourselves. Then the most of life is gonna be with us. We're gonna be in our bodies, so we should be seeing the ins and outs of our own bodies instead of just forgetting about that and going after the wants. Like, I want for cheesecake right now. Well, I want the cheesecake. My love for cheesecake is great, but it's not so much that I will put everything aside just to get it. That cream Sara Lee cheesecake. I'm not gonna kill my family for it. I'm not gonna put all my time in the world for it. It's good, but I'm not gonna do it. So maybe that's just a thing with it, like sex and porn. Like, don't. Maybe that's what they're trying to teach me. It's like, don't go around doing it like there's a fucking. Just don't go around doing it like there's nothing else in the world. When you forget about everything else in the world, you're forgetting about a lot of things. Really, a lot of things. And you're making everything seem unimportant. And guess what happens when you start losing interest in the one thing? Because this can be a lot of things. You start losing interest in that drug, alcohol, that porn, sex, a woman, a man. You start to see that there's less of them and more of the world. And what most of us are trying to do is, like, before you get to a point where you start to see that there's nothing that interesting in, like, that, the vices, because sometimes you might go so far into it to a point where you're just like, then you realize, you're like, oh shit, there is nothing. There's nothing here that is worth that much. Like, you're gonna get to a point where you're so tired of it, you're just like, why the fuck was I putting all my chips in here? I was putting all my chips in this one bet, like this thing was gonna give me eternal life or something, eternal happiness. I'm trying to tell you right now, don't go there. Do not go there. And a lot of people, even way before they even get to this part of the video, it was probably 30 seconds of the video they watched, and they already tired of hearing my ass. They're just like, shut up. Something hypocrite. Something you're boring. I'm trying. Alright? I don't care what the fuck you think I am. I'm trying. I'm pushing. I'm going. And I've gone through so much through myself. So much that I've learned about myself. And if it's not learned, then relearned. Because if I've gone this far, why go back now? I could relapse, but I know that I'm starting to get this love for God and for myself and for the people around me. And I'm starting to see that the other side of porn is a lot more and a lot more beautiful than I realized. And it's just fuck, like, I'm starting to see that this battle against it is a lot more meaningful than porn itself. And I was fucking lost. I was that lost into it. I was so fucking inside of that shit. And I don't want it to be tacky. I don't want it to be like corny as stuff that you hear, like, hey man, keep going, that unk shit, like, that stuff's gonna kill your mind, shit like it. Technically it is going to, but I don't want it to be like a poem or a fucking, sadly, like how Jesus does it. But that was just for his time, is like these parables and stories that switch your perspective on life. But I genuinely want it to be bottom line, like, stop watching that shit. Stop watching that shit. Stop. This ain't no joke. Stop watching that shit. That shit is bad. That shit is gonna kill you. And not kill you, it's gonna torture you. And torture is worse than death. You don't want to be tortured. You don't want to be tortured. You're making this fucking lie that you want to be tortured, and you're believing your own lie. Or that lie that's in your brain, wherever it came from. But people would rather they get induced with pain than face themselves. And I'm thinking, the pain was not as worse. Like the pain to change yourself is not as worse as the pain you're inflicting on yourself. A lot of people are like, oh, I probably deserve that shit. You know, I deserve the bad things coming in my life because of the shit I do. You know, and sometimes they own up to it. They go like, you know what, maybe I can do a little bit of porn, I do a little bit of drugs because I can probably, if I survived the last few times, I can survive this time. We don't know when our last day is coming. Our heart is just ticking. And our minds are unaware of when that last tick is going to happen. It's just going to happen. And it happens to so many people for us to realize, but we still don't want to see it. I think we just need to see it firsthand for ourselves. We have to see it in our vision of someone dying to that. And I try to put myself out here. Like, this isn't the place you want to be. You don't want to be in 24-hour surveillance to yourself. Because I'm like a guard and the prisoner to myself. Like, I'm literally making sure I don't do this shit because of how often I do it. And this is just porn. The amount of things people do, like when I watch Sopranos, like, yeah, Tony gets off by just, he gets off. Like that's what gets him, you know, all riled up, is just fucking inflicting pain to people. His ass was, yeah, sociopathic. He was fucking just, I'm talking about the actor. Not the, I'm talking about the character, not the actor. Like Tony Soprano, not James Gandolfini. That dude was cool, but Tony Soprano, his character is just, it was supposed to represent this fucking, just this guy made into that. And him believing that, like that, when you start to believe that, the things you tell yourself, like you can believe anything that you tell yourself, eventually you're gonna start jumping off of buildings. I can fly. It's up to you, and it's up to you to decide what you believe in. But I know me believing in God is not gonna change that we're gonna die. It's my perspective on what I feel that we're gonna die. Like my thoughts on how death affect me. But it's like, that's not one thing I should be arguing and stressing about my life. Like, so what? Like, this is after. Alright? This is after, G. The right now, that shouldn't be an issue. Alright? We'll worry about it when we get there. Like, when we get there, then you can worry about if there's a God or not, you know. Even then, I don't think I could. If there is no life after life, there's not going to be any me to worry about it. So why are you trying to come and tell me there's none? Like, it's a, like you're trying to win me over to the dark side or some shit, the void. Like, even then, if I did, I believe there was no afterlife. I think I'm gonna just believe that there's something more, like maybe a simulation, or maybe just a fucking interdimensional shit, or maybe it's some fucking weird, crazy ending shit, like movies, like I was me from a different multiverse, now I gotta live him, or reincarnation and shit like that. Like, if it's not the afterlife, it's gonna be something else. So I see that shit, trying to convince people about no afterlife. I'm sorry, it's funny. It's just like, what's the plan here? I'm gonna make you lose hope. I'm gonna make sure you are hopeless. You know what? You're the villain, bro. I'm sorry. You're the common enemy. You're out here just trying to make people feel bad. And it's like, what? And if you're not, then just leave them the fuck alone and live your life how you see it, how you believe it. And you will convince a lot more people that way. Trust me. If that's your goal. You live by your own rules. And it's just how it is. And if you live them so much, you're going to see that the law of the land usually won't allow it. Because, yeah, it's like the land is, for morality, the land adopted the morality of no killing, no, sex with children, no certain amount of drugs can be done, because it's the action that speaks louder than words. If you see a guy going fucking nuts, and I only know this because the when there's the little people, because death took out a lot of people, like the Black Plague, that's a really scary place to be, because your whole existence and species is gonna die. And if you have some dude on heroin or some shit, PCP, he's gonna, and you see that they think irrationally and they go and they kill people or whatever. Like, yeah, you can say he's living by his own rules or whatever, but which is, freedom. That's the one thing we got or whatever. That's one thing that's certain. But you're gonna really let his freedom judge if the species should live or not. I get it, freedom's amazing, but there's like, what's the word? Priorities. Like, there's things we got to take account for because of how serious the bigger picture is. We can't just be willy-nilly. Like, out here, like, freedom should be numero uno. There's a thing about being free to do whatever you want, yeah, but not affecting everyone around you to a point where it's fucking them up. And the best thing is, to make a progress that helps people, doing whatever you want, and it helps people, that helps the people around you. And if you don't like helping people, oh, so be it, But that's how it works, we are in our little matrix pods. That's just the law of the land. But the freedom of people is like, I can freely think that I want to kill the human race because I'm tired of them or something. But when you're, let's say, 99% there, which I'm butchering the math, but it's a whole nother playing field. It's almost as if your mind shifts from that last mentality you're thinking. Like, before you're thinking, let's kill the human race, and then you're near the end and you're like, oh, I kind of don't want to die. We shouldn't be living in this little false reality that we're in, because that's not reality. Or that's not how reality usually works out in the end. I can't tell you what's reality, because some people have their own reality, but reality tends to kick in right before you're gonna die, or when you get older too. This holy moly schmoly, like, I saw these two words that just fucking fucked me up. I don't know what it was. Like, it just sent chills. I felt it. Like, my body was like, ooh. I saw the two words that said, and at first I never understood. I probably seen them before together, but I saw generations pass. Generations pass. I'm like, Zinga. That means this has happened before. And the shit that we're arguing and stressing over, we should learn from our elders. And that's why the Bible says respect your elders, because it's not give them unnecessary respect. It's like, meaning give them respect even if they're going around killing, raping women or whatever. It's give the respect to elders who are trying to help you. They're just trying to help us. They're trying to tell us, hey, don't go down this route, go down this one, and you'll be better off. You'll skip a lot of torment if you go down this route. Almost like a shortcut. Which, we shouldn't take it like that, but, you know, there's always ways of life that come at you, new problems. But I've seen people who had fathers and grandfathers go through, you know, you just see the torment in their eyes. They went through the pain. They went through the shit. And they guided their child to avoid that. And their child ends up better off. It doesn't mean spoil your child like crazy. It means show your child the balance of the two, of work and gratefulness. Yeah, I guess working and pleasure too. Like, you got to find that balance. Like, if you are a guy who enjoys a cold beer, do not go excessively. And that's an easier thing said than done. But that's the goal, right? At the very least. Don't go for, like, the goal is to become some non-alcoholic, like, guy that has to go and make, you know, sermons and all these speeches or whatever. And no, like, just finding that balance so that your life can be more open to more of life and you can see more to life. Not just that one thing, that excessive thing. Or if you're just like some dude who enjoys, like, the pleasure of women, you know, or the presence, you know. I get it. I really do. And I know it's an extreme level. But literally God gave us a way to do that. Now there is a way of, at the very least, learning how to communicate with women and learning how to befriend them instead of just see them as sex objects. And there's also a thing of marriage. Like, I know marriage, like, there's dudes out here like, don't get married. They scare me. They get scary with that shit. It's like, you see what happens when you get married. I'm like, dude, calm down, big fella, calm down. Just because your marriage was not that good doesn't mean everybody's marriage is terrible. I've seen people happily married, and I've seen people whose marriage went down the poop hole. That's usually because they marry the person they want to fix instead of marrying the person who is perfect the way they are. They're the way they're gonna be, the way they were. You have to marry your best friend, and I heard that from somebody, and it just, to me, that just makes sense. It's like putting two and two together. And I ain't talking about marrying your best friend like just my homeboy. You know, he my homeboy since the hood. I gotta marry his. No. That's just the thing with women. If you want to live a stoic life, that's not an easy feat, but it's doable. Stoic meaning the lone wolf. I honestly don't want to live a stoic life. And I've been stoic for a long fucking time. I would want a woman to just be there for that need and to learn more about each other. Because I want that need satisfied just so I don't have to worry about it like I am now, where now it's this porn that's become my woman. And it's almost like an evil, toxic woman. That's why they make porn to be out this like female demon or something, but it's just a representation. My want for a woman is like I do want to marry a woman. I would want to do the wedding, the kids. It sounds corny, but if there's a path to God with a woman, that's the one I would pick. Not, God's my homeboy, God's my man, follow Christ, but, I'm going to be sleeping with these bitches. One or the other, man. One or the other. It boils down to its purest form. It boils down to that question in the end. Do you want these bitches or do you want God? You can't have both. I'm sorry. This shit sucks. I know. Welcome to life. It's unfair. But funny enough, welcome to life feels unfair. Because I can honestly say that, yeah, some people are born rich, others are born poor, but one thing my mom put into perspective for me is you don't know what some rich people are going through and what some poor people are going through. Sometimes some poor people have it really good. And you're not going to believe me, but yeah, some poor people probably just take the appearance of poor. They're out there begging and somehow getting $250 a day. Dang. If you're in the right spot, maybe. And some rich people probably have so many fucking problems, they're losing their fucking minds. So I tend to be like, yeah, my mom was probably trying to just help me out there. Like, it's not a rich, poor thing, which is a big thing, in the world. Just people not calculating their money right. But we tend to almost always have somebody there. So it's who you know, not what you know, but that always helps. But I can't speak that for everybody. There's some people who genuinely have nothing. They've been taken from life. A lot of shit has been taken from them. But we should definitely put our time into working on ourselves. Like that, We should be working on ourselves. Like, don't forget to. Don't just think that, I got it all down, I know how it all works. And then go and try being the best or whatever. Like, I mean, cool, but you always need time with yourself. It's the pride, That's why God is there to be the person we can give our pride to. Right? Give it to somebody who really doesn't need it. Like, he created it all. Like, you give it to him, you'll see that he deserves it more than us. And all he wants is to help the people who have nothing. And so he uses, well, not uses, but he made us already. So we're doing his mission. We're already doing his will. But when we want to help people, you're doing his will. But when you don't, you're exercising your free will. Go ahead. But when you think about it, not doing the right thing with your free will, it's a tongue twister. Not doing the right thing with your free will, it's almost like you're just doing the bad thing just to prove a point about the free will. All right, good. You proved the point that you have free will, or you want it or something, but it's not helping nobody. Not you, not nobody. And I know some things just disguise themselves as feeling good, but or doing good, Shit. That's a tough one. When you're doing something you think is good and it's actually bad. So that's why it's not, I don't know, I'm not saying like, I'm not trying to, hurt anybody by saying this, but, broaden your horizons. You never know what you're doing until you learn more about it. Sometimes we're just stuck in the same loop over and over. No one's saying. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That shit's funny. So no one's saying. No one's saying. Oh, that's just funny. But I want to end it off by saying, take care. May God be with you. May Jesus and his teachings find you. And may the Holy Spirit guide you on your mission and give you that power, that spirit power to get through whatever problems you're going through right now. And you have a holly jolly Christmas. Wait, before that, have a good Thanksgiving too. Have an ultimate day. You guys take care. Stay safe.